We've got a billionaire Prime Minister and a billionaire Prime Minister, both of whose families have used schemes to avoid millions of pounds of tax, smearing a working-class woman.
I think today is an answer to that question in a way, because here we are 10 days past the mayoral election.
Mr. Speaker, we live in probably more volatile world than we've lived in for many decades. It is absolutely crucial.
Starmer's web of controversies just got stickier. The Electoral Commission is eyeing Labour's potential EU cash link, and it's not pretty. A £30,000 donation from an EU-backed organisation to the Fabian Society has raised more than eyebrows. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. From Durham beer to undeclared gifts, Starmer's past is catching up with him. Is this the man fit to lead the country? Let's unravel this tangled mess together. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. The Electoral Commission's interest in Labour's potential EU cash link has opened a Pandora's box of controversies for Keir Starmer.
Going to turn something around, you have to do the hard yards up front. Don't look at a tough decision and then leave it for a year or two. So we're doing the tough stuff.
She claims the Tory party's disastrous kamikaze budget that triggered chaos for millions was, her words, the happiest moment of her premiership. We will continue to work, as we have done in the 4 months in government, on issues of security, our economy and global conflict.
At the heart of this financial fiasco lies a £30,000 donation from the Foundation for European Progressive Studies, FEPS, to the Fabian Society, an organisation with deep-rooted ties to the Labour Party. This seemingly innocuous transaction has now caught the watchful eye of the Electoral Commission, suggesting that there might be more to this story than meets the eye. Labour's cosy relationship with EU-backed organisations has long been a point of contention in British politics. The Fabian Society, proudly boasting of its influence over Labour leadership on its own website, has now found itself at the centre of this storm. As the investigation unfolds, questions are swirling about the extent of EU influence on UK politics, even in the post-Brexit era. The Electoral Commission's rules are clear. Donations exceeding £11,180 must be formally reported, and those over £500 must come from permissible sources. The £30,000 donation from FEPS to the Fabian Society doesn't just raise eyebrows, it sets off alarm bells. Is this a simple oversight, or a deliberate attempt to skirt the rules? Conservative Party officials have been quick to condemn this funding arrangement. Co-chairman Nigel Huddleston didn't mince words, calling it scandalous and arguing that it undermines the UK's hard-won independence post-Brexit. It's a stinging indictment of Labour's commitment to British sovereignty, and one that's likely to resonate with voters still smarting from the Brexit divide. Despite the mounting criticism, FEPS has stood its ground, defending its funding of the Fabian Society. They assert that their actions were legitimate and within their remit as a political foundation. But this defense raises more questions than it answers. If everything was above board, why the need for an Electoral Commission investigation? The most troubling aspect of this controversy is what we don't know. The exact amount Labour potentially received from EU-backed sources remains shrouded in mystery. Could this £30,000 donation be just the tip of a very large, very EU-shaped iceberg? As the investigation progresses, voters are left to wonder just how deep Labour's EU money pit goes. This financial controversy couldn't come at a worse time for Keir Starmer. With his past indiscretions already haunting him, this latest scandal threatens to unravel the carefully crafted image of a leader fit to guide Britain through turbulent times. From the Durham beer incident to undeclared gifts, each revelation adds another layer to the unfolding drama of Starmer's leadership. Just when we thought Keir Starmer's political career couldn't get any more tumultuous, the Durham police decided to throw a spanner in the works. The Beergate incident, once dismissed as a minor blip, has now snowballed into a full-blown investigation that threatens to derail Starmer's carefully crafted image as a law-abiding leader. Initially, Durham police concluded that no offence had occurred when Starmer was filmed enjoying a beer in the constituency office of City of Durham MP Mary Foy. But like a plot twist in a political thriller, they've now reopened the investigation, citing significant new information. This sudden U-turn has left many wondering, what exactly did the police uncover that was deemed important enough to warrant a second look? The timing of this announcement is particularly intriguing. The police, in their infinite wisdom, decided to delay revealing the reopened investigation until after the local elections. One can't help but question whether this was a calculated move to avoid influencing the political landscape. It's a delicate dance between transparency and political sensitivity that leaves a sour taste in the mouths of those craving straightforward answers. As the investigation unfolds, new details are emerging that paint a rather different picture of the event. What was once described as a small gathering now appears to have involved as many as 30 people. Add to that a large takeaway curry order, and suddenly we're looking at something that bears a striking resemblance to the very parties Starmer himself criticised Boris Johnson for attending. But the plot thickens. Starmer's deputy, Angela Rayner, was also confirmed to have been present at the gathering, contradicting earlier claims that she wasn't there. This discrepancy raises serious questions about the accuracy of Labour's initial statements. Are we dealing with a simple misunderstanding or a deliberate attempt to mislead the public? The Beergate scandal isn't the only skeleton rattling in Starmer's closet. Lord Ali, a prominent Labour donor, has been revealed to have provided significant gifts to Sir Keir Starmer, including high-end clothing for his wife. These gifts, which weren't declared in the Register of MPs' interests, have led to accusations of breaching parliamentary rules. It's a web of financial impropriety that's becoming increasingly difficult for Starmer to untangle. Starmer's office claims they sought advice on declarations and believed they were compliant. Yet they later acknowledged the need for late declarations after receiving updated guidance. This inconsistency raises serious questions about Starmer's judgment and attention to detail. For a man who prides himself on his legal background, such oversights seem particularly damning. As the dust settles on Keir Starmer's web of controversies, the British public is left with more questions than answers. The Electoral Commission's investigation into Labour's EU cash link, coupled with the reopened Beergate inquiry and undeclared gifts scandal, paints a troubling picture of a leader struggling with transparency and accountability. Starmer's carefully crafted image as a law-abiding, trustworthy alternative to Boris Johnson now lies in tatters. The coming weeks will be crucial for both Starmer and the Labour Party as they navigate these turbulent waters. Can they salvage their reputation, or will these scandals prove to be the final nail in the coffin of Starmer's leadership aspirations?